Welcome to the instructional video outlining how to submit an application to the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada's, or NSERC's, Canada Graduate Scholarship Masters, or CGS M program. This video was recorded by the Scholarships and Fellowships Division at NSERC and is available in both English and French. In this instructional video, we will go through the online application process step by step. To create an application for the CGS M program, you will need accounts for both the Research Portal and Canadian Common CV or CCV platforms. Before completing any application, we strongly encourage you to read the program description and the application instructions, as well as all other relevant information hosted on the NSERC website. Let's get started with the Research Portal tutorial. The first step in the application process is to create a Research Portal account. To access the Research Portal, go to NSERC's homepage, select the Login option in the top right-hand corner, and then select Research Portal. First-time users of the Research Portal will need to create an account and person profile. It is important to ensure that your profile is always up to date and that your contact information is current. This will help to ensure that you receive emails regarding changes to your application status and important updates about the program. The person profile also includes a self-identification form which you must complete to apply to the CGSM program. This data provides information on the diversity of the population applying for and receiving agency funds and increases the agency's capacity to monitor their progress on increasing equity, diversity, and inclusion, or EDI, in their programs, to recognize and remove barriers, and to design new measures to achieve greater EDI in the research enterprise. If you do not want to self-identify, you have the option to choose "I prefer not to answer" for each question, but you are required to select a response for the questionnaire to be marked as complete. Self-identification information is not part of your application and will be neither accessible to nor shared with external reviewers and/or review committee members. Once you have completed or updated your person profile and self-identification data, click Save Profile. By clicking on the Create Application header, a list of the different funding opportunities available through the Research Portal will drop down. You must then click on the Create button next to the Canada Graduate Scholarships Masters Program option. Once you have created your application, you will be able to open and edit your application as often as you wish before its submission. Changes to your application cannot be made once you hit Submit. However, you will still be able to update your personal contact information in your profile. A complete application includes the application form, attachments, CCV, and 2 reference assessments. All documents must be submitted through the Research Portal. When you start your application, each section will display a yellow triangle to the left of its title, indicating that that section has not yet been completed. Once you have completed a section, this yellow triangle will be replaced by a green checkmark. Before submitting your application, it is mandatory that you preview your application by clicking on the Export Application and Attachments to PDF option. This will allow you to review each section of your application and to verify that it is complete, accurate, legible, and that it includes all uploaded attachments. The PDF preview will also allow you to identify any text formatting errors within the form. Once you have completed all sections and exported the application file, the Submit button will appear and you will be able to submit your application. The Research Portal has a timeout period of 20 minutes. You must save and validate frequently. Otherwise, you will lose the information you have entered. This is the Identification module, where you enter pertinent information about your application and program of study, including your proposed field of research. Each of the 3 field of research options are associated with one of the 3 federal granting agencies, that is NSERC, the Canadian Institutes of Health Research, or CIHR, and the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada, or SSHRC. The list of institutions to which your application may be submitted will change depending on your chosen field of research. Even if your proposed research is inter- or multidisciplinary, you may select only one field of research. In order to better understand subject eligibility requirements, you are encouraged to visit the Selecting the Appropriate Federal Granting Agency webpage, hosted on the www.science.gc.ca website. This webpage provides potential applicants with information on what types of research are, and are not, eligible for CIHR, NSERC, and SSHRC support. You may also seek advice from the Faculty of Graduate Studies at the institution where you intend to apply, or from any of the 3 federal granting agencies. If you select health as your field of research, you must provide a CIHR Personal Identification Number, or PIN. If you need to request a PIN, the request must be made through CIHR's own ResearchNet, and it may take up to 1 full business day for CIHR to provide you with a PIN. If you are interested in applying for the Canada Graduate Scholarship's Michael Smith Foreign Study Supplement, watch the postgraduate and postdoctoral additional programs and supplements video in this series. NSERC is participating in 2 supplements/joint initiatives, the Black Scholars Initiative and the Indigenous Scholars Awards and Supplements Initiative. If you self-identify as Black and would like to be eligible for a CGS M allocation designated for Black student researchers, ensure that you select this initiative in the drop-down menu and check the box next to the statement of affirmation that will appear. If you self-identify as Indigenous and would like to be considered for a CGS M award and/or supplement designated for Indigenous student researchers, you will need to select the Indigenous Student Awards and Supplements Pilot Initiative from the drop-down menu and indicate your agreement with the self-identification and consent statement. Additional details about NSERC postgraduate supplements and initiatives are available in the postgraduate and postdoctoral additional programs and supplements video in this series and on the NSERC website. You may select up to 3 proposed host organizations for your award. To be eligible to receive an offer of award, you must either be enrolled full-time in an eligible program of study, or have applied or will apply for full-time admission to an eligible graduate program at the master's or doctoral level that can be started within the eligible start dates of the competition year at a Canadian institution with a CGS M allocation. If you do not meet one of these requirements, you will not be eligible to receive an offer of award. You must carefully choose your institutions, as the CGS M is not intended to be a portable award. You may apply to only 1 department within each selected institution, so you must take care when making this choice. Selection processes vary by institution, and some may not consider your application if you select a department other than the one to which you will apply for admission. After you receive an offer of award, any request for change to the Department of Award tenure is granted at the discretion of the host institution. Changes to the location of tenure will only be considered under exceptional circumstances. In the Summary of Proposal module, you must provide a brief overview of your outline of proposed research using clear, plain language that can be understood by the general public. This short summary may be made publicly available if your application is successful. This is the Activity Details module, where you will provide information related to certification requirements, equity, diversity, and inclusion, research proposal keywords, and your field of study. I would like to draw your attention to the Field of Study section, where you will select 3 options that describe your research. As noted in the previous slide, the contents of the drop-down menu depend on which field of research you selected in the Identification module. If you do not see any options related to your proposed research, return to the previous module to ensure you selected the correct field of research. The Special Circumstances module provides you with the opportunity to describe any circumstances you would like to be taken into consideration by reviewers during application evaluation. Examples include illness, family responsibilities, parental leave, disabilities, cultural or community responsibilities, trauma and loss, or any other applicable circumstances. All applicants must reply yes or no to the following prompt question. Do you have any special circumstances to take into consideration that may have affected your research, professional career, record of academic or research achievement, or completion of degrees? If you answer yes to the above question, a text field will appear for you to describe your relevant circumstances. If you wish, you may also indicate a relative percentage that represents the reduction in your workload. Be sure to include a clear description about the impact of these circumstances on your research and/or studies, including irrelevant, the type of contribution that has been impacted. For example, effects on course grades or degree progress, cancelled presentations, or delays in data collection or publications. You should also use this section to explain any gaps in the chronology of your research experience, including those resulting from employment. This section offers you an opportunity to explain to the reviewers something that they might otherwise only be able to guess at. Use this section if it applies to you. The outline of proposed research attachment consists of two separate sections: the outline of proposed research, which has a maximum of 1 page, and the bibliography and citations, which also has a maximum of 1 page. While this attachment can be a maximum of 2 pages, you must ensure that your research proposal does not exceed 1 page, or your application may be rejected by the institution. In addition, you must follow the guidelines and formatting standards outlined in the program literature. The content of your research proposal must be written by you, using clear, plain language that can be understood by a wide range of scientists. It cannot be an extract from a supervisor's grant proposal and cannot be written by your current or proposed supervisor. It's okay to ask for feedback on your proposal. In fact, this is recommended, but the research idea and bulk of the composition must come from you. If you have not yet decided on a specific project, you must still provide a detailed description of a research project that interests you. You are not bound by this project proposal. You should provide a detailed description of your proposed research project for the period during which you will hold the award. This should be as clear and specific as possible, and you should state your objectives, hypotheses, procedures, and the significance of the proposed work. The research should be placed within the context of the field and pertinent literature cited. Further, you must include all relevant information within your submitted text and should not refer reviewers to external URLs or other publications for supplemental information. Detailed advice on what makes a strong and competitive research proposal is covered in the Advice and Tips for Writing an Application video in this series. We strongly recommend that you watch that video. All application attachments, specifically your outline of proposed research and transcripts, must be uploaded to your application using the research portal. Once you are ready to upload your attachments, click on the Attach button in the Attachments section of the main application page. You will be directed to this page, where you will be able to enter the title of the attachment and upload a file from your computer. Once you have identified the appropriate file, select Upload to add it to your application. You will need to follow this process for each attachment associated with your application. It is very important to read and follow the CGS M instructions for completing an application, and to contact your proposed institutions for full details on transcript requirements and guidelines, as well as your proposed host institution's definition and use of the first-class average eligibility criterion. Your application could be rejected if you do not meet all program and institutional requirements. Up-to-date official transcripts of all undergraduate and graduate programs listed in the CCV must be included in the application, whether they contain grades or not. If the institution is unable to confirm your first-class standing from the uploaded transcripts, your application may be considered ineligible. Up-to-date transcripts are defined as transcripts dated or issued in the fall session of the year of application, if you are currently registered, or after the last term completed, if you are not currently registered. Official transcripts are defined according to institutional guidelines. Ensure that the transcripts uploaded meet the internal requirements at each institution selected in your application. Contact the Faculty of Graduate Studies, or its equivalent, at the institution selected in your application to determine their requirements. If your institution does not provide transcripts, you can submit an official letter as described on the CGS M instructions webpage. As noted earlier in the video, you must also create a CCV as part of the application process. Before you start, remember to review the detailed CGS M instructions and resources hosted on the NSERC website. After creating your account, select the CGS Masters option in both the funding source and the CV type drop-down menus and click Load. There are many sections in the CGS M CCV. You are only required to complete the indicated mandatory sections. However, you are welcome to complete any non-mandatory sections if they are relevant to your application. The leaves of absence and impact on research section may be used to expand upon any special circumstances previously mentioned or explain additional events, including delays, disruptions, interruptions to your studies or research that may have had an impact on your research career path. Creating a CCV is personal and subjective. Therefore, you are the best person to determine under which section specific information should be listed and what type of information will positively impact your application. Click the Help icon for a description of the type of information which should be included. If you are still uncertain about the best section of the CCV in which to include specific experiences or qualifications, it is recommended that you consult with your supervisor or other colleagues in your field of research who likely know more about the specific scenario than agency or institutional staff. Once you complete your CGS M CCV, the CCV website will generate a confirmation number. This is the number that you will need to enter in your application in the research portal. Now back to the research portal. To upload your CCV, go to the Canadian Common CVs Attached section and select the Attach button. This will bring you to the page where you will upload your CCV file. Enter your CCV confirmation number in the space provided and select Upload. Each time you update your CCV, a new confirmation number will be generated. It is very important that you enter the confirmation number associated with the final version of your CCV. You should export and review your application package prior to submission in order to verify that the correct version of your CCV was attached. If you need to modify your CCV file before submitting your application, you can delete it from the main application screen and upload the new version using the new confirmation number. Each application must be accompanied by 2 reference assessments. These references should be prepared by people who are familiar with your skills, achievements, and accomplishments. They normally include your current research supervisor and another academic or workplace supervisor who knows you well. You must contact your references to ensure they are willing to complete an assessment for you in advance of the application deadline date. To invite your references, enter the required information into the research portal and select the deadline date by which you would like the assessment to be completed using the pop-up calendar. If a reference already has a research portal account, you must enter the email address associated with their account. Make sure to verify this in advance. Once you click Invite, a system-generated email will then be sent inviting your references to complete their assessments. If they do not receive this email immediately after you enter their information into the research portal, you should confirm that it is not in their junk, spam, or deleted email folder. If they are still unable to locate the email invitation, you should re-invite them using a different email address. You can verify the status of each request on the Application Overview page. When the references submit their assessment forms, they will be linked to your application. You will not be able to submit your application until both assessments have been completed and submitted. It is crucial to allow plenty of time for your references to complete this process. References should be directed to the CGS M instructions and resources hosted on the NSERC website for guidance on accessing the research portal and completing their assessment. More details about who to ask and tips on what they should include are available in the Advice and Tips for Writing an Application video of this series. We strongly encourage you to watch this video, which includes valuable and important advice for creating a strong and competitive application. This concludes the video. We encourage you to watch the other videos in this series for additional information on applying to NSERC. If you have any questions regarding your application, they must first be addressed to the Faculty of Graduate Studies at your potential host institutions. If you have any questions about the CGS M program, you may also contact NSERC program staff by email at scol@nsirc-crsng.gc.ca. Good luck!